We'll start off with something basic. When you look back at the past 4 years, what do you point to as things that you feel good that you've been able to accomplish?
Can I change the question just a little bit?
You can absolutely change the question.
Because it is never about one person.
I know, but this is your race, so
Right.
you can talk about the council as a whole, but
Right.
you personally feel these are good things that we've done.
Then, okay, I love that part. Things that I personally feel good about what the city and the city council has accomplished within the last 4 years. I think number one has to be financial stability for the city. The fact that we are in the midst of the greatest economic challenge that any of us certainly have ever lived through, and the fact that we have a balanced budget, that we have a healthy 10% reserve, that we've been able to accrue additional funding for leave balances, for infrastructure improvements, for new equipment. That's pretty unheard of in this day and age. The fact that we've been able to do that without layoffs, without going back to our employees and saying, we need to furlough you or you need to take a pay cut. The fact that we've been able to do that, spend money wisely, be fiscally conservative, I think that that's the number one thing that I'm most proud of that the city as a whole has accomplished. The other thing, probably second to that, would be the infrastructure improvements that we have put in place. You know that we cannot grow as a city, we cannot grow as a region without having the infrastructure in place to attract and support business and to grow existing businesses. So we are in the midst of $63 million in improvements to our water, wastewater treatment plants. When those are completed, we're going to have a 50-year capacity. So that is, again, very forward-thinking, probably something that a lot of cities in these times are not able to accomplish or address. Probably the third thing, again, related to infrastructure, the fact that we've been able to move forward from the mall. We did dedicate a lot of resources to get that mall built in terms of maybe not focusing as much on Cityville Centro as internal here within city limits, but getting the road improvements and infrastructure in place for that mall. But that was maybe some short-term pain for an awful lot of long-term gain in terms of jobs, sales tax, ability of our community to do their Christmas shopping here. So now that the mall is online and is sustainable, and we've seen additional expansion in that area, now we turn our focus back to the infrastructure here. And you've all read from Elizabeth's stories, we're getting ready to launch $12 million in street improvements. That's huge. I brought for you for later to take a look at where that bond funding is going to be spent and an explanation as to how the city determines through our road condition master plan what streets to address first and when. And so what you'll see as part of this presentation for you, 54.5% of our streets have been built or rehabilitated in the last 10 years. With the $10 million in bond funding that we're going to launch in January, another 24% of our streets are going to be brought up to that good category. So we're going to be at 78%, and that's just with the bond funding. Remember that we have other pockets of money that we're using to continue with road improvements, so these numbers are going to go even higher. So I think that's the other thing that I'm very proud of.
Okay. That's good. Let's talk about the downtown for just a minute.
Okay.
There's been a lot of discussions, a lot of studies and things. And what is
Richard has got to be the most popular person on the planet here.
What is your vision for the downtown, and specifically, how do you hope to work with the council to get that done?
Again, I'm going to tweak your question just a little bit, Brad. It is never the role of government to come in and dictate what we think should be done in any one area. It absolutely has to be a partnership with downtown.
Okay.
And any improvements that we've worked on for downtown have always been with the absolute buy-in and input from the downtown merchants. I mean, Richard, you may have been here when we did the $4.5 million downtown. The press was instrumental in getting the word out over the series of public meetings and the input that we sought from downtown as to what is your vision? What is sustainable for your businesses? How do you want the parking to be? How do you want the sidewalks and the landscaping? How do you want that to be? That wasn't because the city decided that that was our vision for downtown. That was the merchants. That was the community's vision for downtown. With the city's support, we put that in place. For there to be talk now that, oh, we need to go down there and rip that all out and return it to the way it was. Well, wait a minute. It wasn't working before. And that's why we changed. Why would we think of going back to something that we already know wasn't working, what you didn't want, and that's why we changed it in the first place? I think the key to downtown has got to be that the business owners and the property owners have to be committed to partnering with the city to make downtown successful. And I think that the best way to do that is through mixed use. We need to get folks living downtown, shopping downtown, eating downtown, through Project Shape, which John Edney was incredibly successful in getting funded for us through SCAG. They have really helped us focus our vision and share that with downtown. And one of the things that they've said over and over again is you need mixed use downtown, where you have folks living, say, in the upper areas, and you have the businesses and the retail down below. The other two things, though, that are happening now that I think will really help downtown, we've got the bus transfer terminal coming in, so there'll be a continual cycle of people coming into the downtown area. The other thing is our state-of-the-art outpatient center that's going to be at 4th and Main. And I've, again, if you ask me something that I think that the city or the city council should be very pleased about, that would be another thing, is recognizing that we need to focus and look for opportunities for downtown. And one of those will most definitely be on the outpatient center that will bring, again, a lot of people into this area. And we're just hoping that the businesses step up and look to turn that into an opportunity for themselves.
Okay. Thank you.